What's up, Addicts? Graham here. I'm going to be reviewing Catherine Full Body. This is a remaster, I guess, remake, actually. It's a full remake of a game that came out in 2011, made by Atlas, who makes, obviously, the Persona series, which I'm a huge fan of. So I was very excited to try this, because I didn't get to try it last generation when it came out, because I'm a loser. And I didn't know, I really didn't know anything about it. So I picked it up. Apparently they added a new character to the game named Rin, which you'll find out might not be her real name in the game. Oh,
Shocker.
There's I won't spoil anything. There's some cool twists and turns in it though. Really shocking shit. But yeah, so they added that, and there's like 13 to 15 endings, I believe. I've only gotten one of them so far. I'm gonna go back and play it again because it only took me 9.5 hours to beat the game. So, with a short enough playtime like that, it's well worth the replay value. So the game, you play this guy named Vincent, who's like a 32-year-old dude, just working an average job, and goes and hangs out with his buddies in the bar at night and gets drunk, and that's pretty much all he does. But he's dating this girl named Catherine with a K, and they're in a pretty long relationship, depending on what you think is a long relationship, I guess. But they've been dating for a while. And Catherine's kind of wondering where things are going, and you as Vincent, his character, he's a really nice guy, but he's kind of unsure about the future. He's scared of commitment, pretty much. When then all of a sudden, Catherine with a C shows up. It's the blonde girl on the box, or if you've played the game, obviously you know who it is. But for those of you who haven't, there you go. She enters the picture, and this isn't a spoiler. It's literally like the crux of the game. You start cheating on K Catherine with C Catherine. And that pretty much sets off all these things in motion, and you start having these vivid nightmares where you're in this puzzle world, and you have to climb this puzzle tower to escape a monster chasing you or whatever. And it's just kind of, at first it seems like Vincent's way of just dealing with the problems, but then it becomes apparent it's much more widespread, and many men throughout the world and in their town are experiencing the same nightmares, and in fact dying from them if they cannot escape the puzzle tower. And that's all I'm going to say about the story, because it gets really crazy and you discover a lot more about it. So they did throw in, I guess, an additional character, a third girl in this game named Rin. Might not be her real name in the game. You'll find out. I'm not going to spoil too much. But I don't know. I don't know exactly how much that changes the game this time around. So anybody who's played the original one, please let me know how different it is and if it's worth going back and playing the original without her. Because I'd like to know. Because I thought she was a pretty cool character. Wild twist in the end of the game for sure. Didn't see it coming. But she was a pretty cool character, and kind of a breath of fresh air, actually, in my opinion. Because I'm going to get into what's probably the only couple of problems I can think of that I have with the game, because I think it's a really great game. But the two Catherines that are in the game, we'll start with Catherine with a K. That's your girl, that's your boo. Now, she's pretty high strung, she's very work oriented, she's very driven, and that's great. But she can come off as a bit, I'm trying to tread lightly. I don't know. Sometimes she just kind of got on my nerves because she didn't seem like she was very understanding. Then again, what Vincent is doing is abhorrent, and it's, really messed up. But the thing that bothered me the most throughout the game was Catherine with a C. I don't find her interesting or, really even that attractive, whatsoever throughout the game. I'm like, why are you cheating with this girl? Granted, he'll wake up in the morning and be like, "Why?"
It was a mistake,
right? Well, he's like, why are you even in my bed? He doesn't remember her coming over, probably because he was wasted. But I just thought it was kind of weird. I'm like, why is he having such a hard time with this? And so the gameplay, we'll get into that. The gameplay comes from conversations you have with your close friends at the bar who tell you, obviously to quit cheating and try to figure stuff out, and you just kind of talk life with them. And then the two Catherines, they will text you back and forth. And then Ren later on will text you additionally, and she's not like a relationship option, but she's just kind of there, I don't know, throw a wrench into things. I don't really know. She's kind of interesting. I'd like to know what the rest of you guys thought about her as an addition. I thought she was cool though. She was a breath of fresh air. But they'll text you back and forth, and Catherine with a K, your girl, will be like, hey, what's bothering you? We need to talk. I feel like something's wrong with us. And then you will get...
Isn't that always the story?
It's always the case, right? But you'll get these prompts as text, and you can choose on how you want to respond to her. So you can be like kind of open and honest, as much as it'll let you, at least, and say like, yeah, something's bothering me. Maybe we should talk. Or you can just outright be like, nothing's wrong. I'm perfectly fine. You know, don't bother me.
So be a man option.
No, I don't know about that. But then Catherine with C will be texting you like, oh, here's a almost nude here for you, and you're like, oh, I can't look at that at the bar, and like just weird flirtatious things. And that's a big part of the gameplay, because that can sway your morality gauge more or less into the blue or the red, which originally I thought blue was good, red was bad, as is normal in video games with like morality.
Why do they gotta use color coding? That's always so stressful.
No. But apparently the blue stands for like a normal, comfortable relationship with your girlfriend, and then the red is like freedom, quote unquote. So like basically the idea of why can't Vincent see this girl open a relationship almost kind of thing. But it just kind of felt weird to me because I had no idea until the end of the game that that's what how that was working. So that was strange. So the texting's a lot of fun. It adds a lot of depth to the game. Now the puzzles are the main gameplay throughout the game. So I will say you kind of need to enjoy puzzle games to play this. Like if you just want to see the story, because the story is fantastic, then go ahead and watch a walkthrough on YouTube, because if you don't like puzzles, you might get a little frustrated, because these can get pretty difficult, even on like easy mode. There's a little bit of a learning curve, because they keep throwing at you new moves you can do, because you're climbing this tower, and it's just multiple rows stacked on top of each other, these blocks. And throughout the game, you learn different moves to climb if like they throw certain blocks at you, because some blocks can break under you, some blocks will straight up kill you if you step on them. Like there's a lot to it, but it gets pretty fun. And so that's pretty much all the gameplay there is. Mostly you're kind of here for the story, because there's some great animated cutscenes that look really nice, and then they go back to their kind of weird CG looking cutscenes that look a little dated. Like they don't look like Persona crisp, but they work, I guess. But yeah, mostly it's just the juggling relationships, and this is the part of the game that kind of like hooked me the most. Was you kept returning to the game to see what Vincent was gonna have to deal with next, and what kind of secret was gonna be revealed next, because crazy things get revealed throughout the game. But it actually gets pretty damn stressful at times, because it
Hey man, when it's stressful, you just need to take a drink of something.
Thank you.
Something hard to kind of ease the pain.
Yeah, it kind of made me want to drink at times, I guess, but that's just the alcoholic in me, you know. But because this is the other thing that bothered me. I needed to hit on this. Probably the thing that bothered me the most, but it's not like a flaw. It's just Vincent's character. What bugged me the most was he just would not take a direct route with his girlfriend and tell her straight up, like, hey, this is what's bothering me. We need to talk about this. I accidentally slept with this chick. Accidentally, I don't know how. You do that, I guess he was blackout drunk.
Oopsies.
You know,
sorry.
like you do.
I fell into it.
But that kind of stressed me out, because I was like, why can't I just have an option? Because it made me feel bad. I'm like, as someone who's in a relationship, I'm like, if I was having, wouldn't have that kind of a problem, But like, if you had a bad enough problem, like, just be direct with the person, because I prefer to be direct, and it never really gave you that.
That doesn't
option.
make an interesting game, Graham.
Yeah, I know it doesn't. It would kind of end the game immediately. Just be like, oh, hey, I cheated, and she's like, all right, bye. So and it doesn't allow you to develop the relationship enough to see different endings, I guess, depending on how you talk to her throughout the game. But so that bothered me. But I also wonder if I missed out on some things. For those of you again who've played it, you'll have to let me know, because when you're texting, you can actually just straight up ignore Catherine with a C and Ren if you want to. You could ignore both of them and not even reply. And I chose that option because I'm like, look, if I want him to be direct and he keeps talking about, oh, I'll stop cheating, I'll stop seeing this girl, but then again, he always falls into it somehow. Like, if I don't have a direct option to tell her to like quit seeing me or I can't do this anymore, if I don't respond at all, she'll get disinterested, but that never happens. And so I'm just wondering what I missed out on and how much I missed out on in the game, just not responding to them because I only responded to your girl.
Are the text messages pretty straightforward, like the options? Because because in some RPGs or like choice-based dialogue, it'll say, and I hate that they've been doing this in games, but like how they'll show like a summary or like the gist of what you'll say, but not actually what you say. Is it like that, or does it say? No, is it pretty straightforward?
Sometimes it can be straightforward. Other times it's kind of like, how's she gonna respond to this? You know what I mean? But most of the time, you can tell, like...
What your dialogue is going to be sent?
Most of what it is was like, look, do you want to be kind of open and try to find a lane with her to talk through? Or do you just want to shut her out and be like, oh, we're fine. Don't worry about it. And just lie to her, more. So that's kind of how it goes. But ultimately, that was an amazing hook to the game, just seeing how these relationships would develop and getting through the puzzles, because I found the puzzles really fun. Even if you were getting stuck sometimes, they give you different options to kind of more or less kind of cheat your way through the game. If you're playing on easy mode, you can have this thing called autoplay where it will actually beat the puzzle levels for you if you just absolutely can't get through it. Which on easy, I feel like if you hit a wall, you can get over it, but then on the harder difficulties, it might be a little tougher. But then again, on the harder difficulty, you don't have autoplay. You just have to get good, you know what I'm saying? But
on the hard difficulty, it just ruins all your relationships.
Yeah, it kind of does. But yeah, so I'm really excited to go back, play the game some more, get all the endings. Again, please answer my questions if you guys have played this before. Let me know what you thought about the game. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because I thought it was just...
Haven't heard an FFA in a while.
I just thought it was like infinitely fun. It was very interesting, anxiety-inducing at times, but ultimately I couldn't put the game down,
I'm bringing this up at the really worst time, but how does it compare to like some of their other games like Persona, where it's very flashy, like even the menus are really beautiful?
That's actually a really good question. I'll touch on that. So, if you don't want to hear the rest of this discussion, the review's been done. It's a 9 out of 10. It's a fantastic game. Please go play it. Josh asked a good question though. If you compare it to like the Persona, like just Persona 5, most recent at least, especially this being a remake being released, like now, like real soon after. The soundtrack's really good. The box edition I got actually came with the soundtrack, so I've listened to that, and it's great music. I like it a lot. Not as many standout songs as far as the track as Persona 5. Like Persona 5, I can play most of the songs in my head whenever, just because I love the soundtrack. This one, there's only a couple. But it's kind of like, as far as like, it's not as flashy, because there's not as many, I guess, like ethereal things happening, like supernatural
it's
type.
More grounded, yeah.
It's a little more grounded because, like, in the nightmares, really, it's just you're seeing grotesque things chasing you, and then you're just climbing blocks. So that's kind of it. But
dude, could you imagine how
the the art's still really good. They're still really cool. Like, there's a lot of creativity in what they show you in the nightmares.
You know how bad your imagination has to be to where all you dream of is just blocks as
blocks,
the background?
Right? Yeah. And I won't get into that because that's spoiler territory, but it kind of explains itself. But so there's that. It really is kind of like if Persona 5 just like dove really, really deep into one aspect of its gameplay, which was the relationships and like going to hang out with people, just to build those bridges. But yeah, just like really deep into it though, and took away a little bit of control because obviously I hope most of you, if you had the option to cheat in the game, you'd steer away from that unless you just want to watch the world burn. In which case, go for it. It's your world.
That's why The Sims exists.
That's why Sims exists. Yeah, you can burn shit down whenever you want. That's Catherine Full Body. Fantastic game. I highly recommend it. Borderlands 3 review should be coming out hopefully soon. I'm playing that right now. It's fantastic.
And Control too.
And Control, yes. Josh will be doing Control pretty soon. So I'll see you all later.